Weapons that shield and protect are weapons that give fighters an incredible edge under fire. Dragonskin is the latest in protective armor.
How much damage can Dragonskin take?
Can it withstand a point-blank grenade explosion? The new THAAD is designed to protect by shredding incoming targets more than 100 miles away. And I get a ringside seat. Hand grenades are old news. If you really want to protect yourself, you need the mighty punch of the M32 grenade launcher. It delivers a six-pack attack.
You hit that thing with a Hellhound, you're not just tapping, you're knocking, you're coming in.
I'm Richard Mackwitz, and I spent 10 years as a Navy SEAL, and I know, to defeat the enemy first, you have to look after yourself. That's why you need the ultimate protection. For a soldier to survive in combat, he needs good training and discipline under fire. When there's bullets flying and bombs dropping, the key to staying alive is great protection.
If you want to increase the survivability of your troops in a combat situation, you want to make sure they have the best gear, the best weapons, the best radios, the best tactics and training. But one piece of equipment that's really come into its own over the last 20 years is body armor.
I've come to Fresno, California, where this important development in the fight to protect and survive has moved up to a whole nother level. Most body armor uses ceramic plates. They're hard, but they're brittle. Sure, they'll soak up a few rifle rounds, but after that, they're all done. The ceramic plates fracture and break, and when that happens, you're in serious trouble. In a combat zone, you want your armor to take hit after hit without failing. And that's a tall order when rounds are getting more powerful and tougher to stop. Here in Fresno, California, they know all about the problems caused by modern ammunition. Let's see just how much damage a bullet can do.
We're going to fire steel core rounds, 5.56, then 7.62, through this and see what happens to this steel plate.
First up, the 5.56 steel core armor-piercing round, and I'm firing it from an M16 rifle. These bullets are devastating. They punch through steel like it's paper. The heavier 7.62x39 steel core round has even less trouble.
When you look at the damage here, and you can clearly see it punches right through. As a matter of fact, look at this. All the way through. And if this is the quality of the steel, an armored plate for light vehicles, imagine what this would do to a human being.
This is Dragonskin. It's a whole new kind of body armor, and its designers claim it can resist these very powerful rounds. Dragonskin uses advanced ceramic and titanium composite discs that overlap and interlink with each other. The way the discs are laid out allow the impact energy of the bullet to be dispersed over a larger area. And that's vitally important because even if the armor can stop the bullet, the force from an actual strike could be devastating. A round doesn't have to pierce body armor to cause serious internal injuries, or even death.
The outside of the projectile.
But the makers of Dragonskin say their armor is so good at spreading the force of a bullet's impact that the worst you'll suffer is bruising.
This way.
Murray Neal is the brain behind it.
When the projectile impacts it, it induces yaw, and that yaw causes the bullet to come apart and disintegrate upon impact.
What makes Dragonskin so unique?
It doesn't restrict your body movement. It takes substantial multiple repeat hits.
Time to put Dragonskin to the future weapons test. I'm going to fire a variety of bullets at Dragonskin, including the steel core 5.56 and 7.62 rounds that we saw earlier ripping through metal plate. Surely this body armor can't repel that kind of onslaught. Firing an M16 with steel core 5.56mm rounds can do some real serious damage. How will Dragonskin cope with this power, especially from nearly point-blank range? Can this revolutionary armor really stop rounds that blast through steel?
Now we fired 2 rounds. We got 2 right there. 9mm. Look at that. There we go. Look at that. Now we saw clearly what that did to a 1/4 inch of steel. Like it just went right through, like a knife through butter. This
basically it.
Nothing. Now comes a test. Most body armor doesn't do well against this round.
It's time to get even more serious. The 7.62 armor-piercing round turned steel plate into Swiss cheese. Can this reptilian-style body armor really stop them?
And we got 2 shots, basically 2 shots in the gut. Now, if this guy didn't have a vest on, it would clearly be over. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna rip this thing off. Take a look. Quick look at this bad boy. All right, bad boy back. What do we see here? That's incredible. 5.56 with steel core rounds. I'll tell you, I was on the edge of thinking that would actually work, you know? And I'll tell you, when you start to look at this, a 7.62 by 39 flying the way it does, there's so much punch behind that. To not see it actually penetrate all the way through.
Next, I'm gonna fire everything I can lay my hands on at Dragonskin.
All right, this is where we actually put it to the ultimate test. I'm gonna go from the 7.62 to the 5.56 to the 9mm. And we're gonna see just how much damage Dragonskin can take.
A soldier's been ambushed. He's running for cover, being fired on from all directions. It's a situation any soldier could face in urban combat. Let's see how it handles multiple strikes from multiple calibers.
I tell you, you would have to be in a really bad position to have that many rounds aimed at you, hitting you. We get to see just how tough Dragonskin armor really is. Now, we threw a lot of rounds downrange, didn't we? When you're looking at this, look at that. That is crazy. That's incredible. Look at that. When you see that, look at this side. That'll make it real simple. See that right there? Flip it over. Look what you're looking at. Everywhere. Boom, 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 boom. Rounds everywhere.
Incredible. But can it take any more punishment? Time to take it to a whole nother level. I'm about to be the first person in the world to attack Dragonskin with a grenade. This has never been done before. Surely it can't survive.
Fire no! Fire no!
I've got an idea that will put Dragonskin to the ultimate test. I've already thrown all kinds of stuff at it. 5.56, 7.62, and even 9mm rounds. It stopped them all cold. I've never seen anything like it.
Boom, 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 boom. Rounds everywhere.
But I want to know how far I can push it. How is Dragonskin going to cope with a live grenade?
What we got here is Bob. We've already put him through the ringer. As you can see, all the rounds we shot in the back. What we're going to do is take Bob and challenge him in a whole different way.
This is a standard fragmentation grenade. It's got a steel body that's designed to break into pieces of lethal shrapnel. This deadly grenade can do some serious damage. Surely the body armor doesn't stand a chance.
Propped him up a little bit, did they?
Now, it's important to remember, we already shot 2 9mm, 2 5.56 with the steel core, and 2 7.62 with the steel core into this as well. So we're really pushing Dragonskin to the limits.
The designers have never tried this before, and understandably, they're a little nervous.
This will be new for us. We've never detonated a grenade underneath our body armor.
To add to the pressure, we're joined by Fresno Bomb Squad Sergeant Alan Knight. He and his team regularly face life-threatening situations. He's hoping Dragonskin could protect the lives of his team. This is a powerful grenade. The blast can blow off limbs, and the shrapnel can slice right through vital organs. We're going to do this test from a safe distance.
Fire no! Fire no! Fire no!
That was a deadly blast. But then, this grenade is designed to rip and punch its way through whatever's in its way. Surely the vest can't survive.
I can't even imagine how bad it's going to be when you look at it. You know, I mean, when you think of a grenade that close to the human body, I mean, the odds are it's over, you're done. So this is definitely pushing the limits of what's possible. Let's take a look at this right here. Wow, look at that right there.
Carrier took a bit of a beating, but
Definitely the carrier took the
the armor package held
Look
up.
at that. That's incredible. All of that blast was taken right up front. When you look at this, it looks like it's devastating. And when you flip it around, it looks like nothing's happened.
That's what goes against the body right there. No holes in it, no big bulges.
Exactly.
Didn't even tear the nylon, which is substantial.
I think it speaks for itself.
It's phenomenal.
Bomb Squad Sergeant Alan Knight delivers his verdict.
I've never seen anything like that before. When we came down range, I thought we really had done some damage. And when you flip that over, I can't believe what I'm seeing right now.
It's incredible.
This is amazing. There's absolutely no penetration, nothing.
Al, I'm going to ask you a personal question. How would you feel about wearing dragon skin in the field?
No problem at all. I was a little bit worried when we came down, but after seeing this, absolutely no problem at all.
The technology behind dragon skin delivers impressive protection. Of course, protecting an individual soldier is vital. But what kind of weapon can protect an entire nation? On the 4th of July, 2006, North Korea test-fired 7 ballistic missiles. Any one of them could threaten the United States of America.
Rogue states are now capable of launching devastating long-range missile attacks. We just don't know where the next strike will come from.
These long-range missiles could be carrying chemical, biological, and even nuclear warheads. We need protection. It's vital that we can intercept and destroy these missiles long before they reach their intended target. And that's the job of the Missile Defense Agency. Their crack team is working around the clock to perfect the very latest American missile defense system. It's called Terminal High Altitude Area Defense, or THAAD. I'm on my way to White Sands, New Mexico, to see it in action.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. I'm Officer Rogers, White Sands Police Department. This is a restricted area. I need to see somebody needs to leave.
Absolutely.
The vast White Sands testing range covers an area of 5,600 square miles, making it one of the largest sites of its kind in the world. THAAD is an area defense missile capable of protecting a state the size of New Jersey. It's designed to take out an incoming missile by smashing into it, destroying the target by sheer force alone. THAAD is part of a 3-layer missile defense network. The first line of defense comes from the Aegis rocket, designed to knock out an incoming ballistic missile in space. If that fails, THAAD intercepts the missile just as it re-enters the atmosphere. The final layer of defense is the short-range Patriot missile. To find out more, I met up with former Patriot Program Coordinator, Colonel Charles Dresnick, now Project Manager for THAAD.
Patriot's a lower-tier system. It has to deal with more than just ballistic missiles. It's dealing with cruise missiles, aircraft, UAVs. And what we did with THAAD is we concentrated it on ballistic missiles so that Patriot can focus on those lower-tier threats.
The Patriot missile proved itself in the first Gulf War by taking out incoming Iraqi Scuds. They're great for protecting specific locations like military bases, but they're strictly a last line of defense. THAAD is designed to intercept ballistic missiles and protect an entire region.
I mean, it's serious business when you're talking about nuclear, chemical, biological threats.
And that's why it was deemed necessary to not leave it up to a single system.
If it works, THAAD will be able to seek out and destroy up to 10 times further than the Patriot. But a missile is only as good as the launcher that fires it.
This is the Terminal High Altitude Area Defense Launcher.
The launcher weighs in at an impressive 40 tons. Yet despite its size, it's capable of being moved anywhere in the world by hitching a ride on a C-17 transporter. It can be loaded on and ready to go in under 30 minutes. But the real genius of THAAD is its sophisticated targeting system.
A radar that can detect and track multiple targets at mind-boggling distances. Imagine you're in Washington, D.C., and you see the rotation of a basketball in Miami, Florida.
It's the most powerful land mobile sensor system in the world. The second an incoming threat is detected, the information is fed to a control unit that orchestrates a symphony of destruction. THAAD missiles do not carry an explosive warhead. Instead, this 18-foot-long, 2,000-pound missile travels at over twice the speed of a bullet and uses the sheer force of collision, known as kinetic energy, to destroy its target. That's why they call it a kinetic kill vehicle.
Fire control unit fires a missile. The radar catches that missile while it's flying out, communicates all the information about that target to the missile while it's flying, so when the missile opens its eyes, it sees what the radar has seen and matches up the lethal object with the kill vehicle.
THAAD is pushing weapons technology to the limit. It's been 7 years since the last time THAAD hit an airborne target, and I'm gonna be there, standing right in the path of an incoming missile.
Very early tomorrow morning, I get to see THAAD in action. Tomorrow, it only gets one chance.
Coming up, is this the dawn of a new missile system? And later, I'll be testing out a crazy new device so secret even its name is classified. It takes out a car bomb with water. The Terminal High Altitude Missile, or THAAD, is supposed to offer protection against incoming missiles. Traveling at speeds over Mach 3, it should be able to destroy targets well over 100 miles away.
What we did with THAAD is we concentrated it on ballistic missiles.
Its sophisticated launcher and radar system should allow it to strike the target with deadly precision. It's like hitting a bullet with an even faster bullet.
So when the missile opens its eyes, it sees what the radar has seen and matches up the lethal object with the kill vehicle.
Now, THAAD is basically using kinetic force as it intercepts the other missile. Why not use explosives?
You could probably shoot a bullet through an airplane in a lot of places and not even hurt it, right? It'd just fly right on. That doesn't happen when you hit it with something that is going so fast and is concentrated, and you hit it where the brains of the airplane are, you're going to take it out every time. So we do the same sort of thing. We do that with the ballistic missiles.
You really want to have maximum impact in just the right place to destroy basically the payload in a way that it can never fall to the earth.
Yeah, exactly.
It's been 7 years of relentless effort to get the latest version of THAAD into the air. The team that worked so hard on it have gathered here tonight, and I know they're nervous. The atmosphere is tense as they pray that their efforts literally go up in smoke.
It's 3:45 in the morning in the beautiful New Mexico desert. THAAD is ready to launch. They've checked, they've double-checked, they've even triple-checked. But you never know.
The cool morning air provides the best possible environment for collecting crucial flight data, so the test takes place at dawn.
What's amazing is it's THAAD's job to hunt down a missile that's 200 miles in the air, lock on, and nail it within a couple feet.
+1, +2, +3, +4, +5.
That is a go.
Mark, get this away. +2.
There's that.
Deliberately corkscrewing to bleed off a third of its energy so it doesn't speed out of the boundaries of white sands.
We're standing basically underneath it now. If it's off just a few degrees, we're actually right underneath it. Within a few seconds now, the booster will release. There it is.
THAAD is on the hunt. But will it kill its prey?
There it is. THAAD just nailed it right there. Boom. And it does this all with kinetic energy. It knocks that missile right out of the sky.
That's like magic.
That right there, that's the vapor trail of the missile that was coming in after us.
As a new day dawns over white sands, the mood is triumphant. This test ushers in a new age of protection from attack by rogue states.
Everybody on the team pulling for the same thing, and they all share in the success.
What was the most impressive thing you saw?
And when I look at the video and I see the expanding gases that was two missiles approaching each other, that's impressive.
When it plays, as it did today, you know, how beautiful is that?
These countries that are building ballistic missiles, knowing that there are now successful systems hitting the field that are going to make their terror weapons obsolete, is going to have an impact on what they do, and that's exactly what we want to happen.
There will be hostilities where this system is going to be used, and will save lives.
The Terminal High Altitude Area Defense Missile System is the epitome of seek and destroy. It uses its sheer mass and speed to deliver the knockout blow to its target just beyond the atmosphere. THAAD, simply put, is out of this world.
Still to come, remember a Q from the Bond movies? A real live Q shows me the latest anti-bomb device. and the M32, a semi-automatic grenade launcher that fires hyper-lethal rounds. When it comes to urban warfare, one of the deadliest threats is the Improvised Explosive Device, or IED. They're responsible for most of the U.S. and Allied casualties in Iraq. When used in car bombs, the consequences are devastating.
It became fashionable to use vehicle bombs, seeking to attain political ends, and they're causing a great number of deaths.
Disarming car bombs is difficult and dangerous work. You may not even be sure of what's in there. And despite the use of remote control units, the job remains potentially lethal.
The dangerous thing about handling a car packed full of high explosives is that accidental detonation could take out an entire city block.
But now there's a revolutionary new device that'll take out car bombs safely. It's the work of Dr. Sidney Alford, a world authority on explosives. He lives near Bath in England, and that's where I've come to find out more. Dr. Alford has been fascinated with explosives since living through the Blitz in war-torn London. He's dedicated his life to studying blast effects and has created dozens of incredible top-secret explosive devices. This particular device is designed to take out bombs placed in the trunk of cars, many of which are made of artillery shells. The device creates a controlled directional explosion that separates the bomb from its detonator. It literally throws the bomb from the car before it gets a chance to do its deadly work. So what's this ingenious device called?
This is called, actually, I can't tell you what it's called because its name is still classified. But its job is to neutralize car bombs, and it's very good at its job.
It uses shape charge technology to produce a relatively small explosion that defeats a potentially massive one. Normally, shape charges force an explosion in one direction that typically transforms metal into a liquid jet that can punch through anything. Except, in this case, the jet isn't made from metal. It's made from water. The result is an incredibly powerful future weapon that's also deceptively simple. It's a work of pure genius. A sheet of explosive is sandwiched between two uniquely shaped water bottles. When it goes off, it focuses the water into a concentrated jet that's capable of tearing through steel. The top container becomes a water blade while the bottom container quenches the fireball and focuses the explosive pressure upwards. This water blade instantly cuts the connection with the detonator and renders the bomb harmless. It also throws the artillery shells clear of the car so that they can be safely disposed of. Dr. Alford claims his amazing invention will make safe even heavy IED explosives.
The British have had their share of brilliant but eccentric inventors. It's time we put this one to the test.
We've got some 105s.
Most car bombs are placed in trunks because there's a lot of space, and they're hidden from view. We've put 5 concrete-filled artillery shells in the trunk of our test car. If these went off, they could kill hundreds.
In here we have an improvised explosive device. 3 155 shells and 2 105 shells. They're all set up basically to be a giant car bomb. Dangerous situation.
Oh, the rubber's got in place.
The plastic containers are filled with water,
Bob Jericho.
and a sheet of explosive is fixed in between. Once taped together, the device can be held like an ordinary briefcase.
Perfect. It's off to work we go.
As briefcases go, it's a rather heavy briefcase, but
it has some important business in it.
The device is placed under the trunk, ready to detonate. Of course, if this was a real IED, we'd get a remote control robot to do this part. The detonator is attached, and it's time to get to a safe distance. Even though most of the force is directed upwards, we have to be at least 100 yards away to avoid getting hit by shrapnel.
I'm starting to see the action.
Yes. It's a beautiful day in the countryside.
Everything's ready. It's time to set it off.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Impressive. But did it actually do the job of separating the shells from the detonators? As we close in, Dr. Alford's device certainly looks like it's worked. Our high-speed camera clearly shows the water blasting each 80-pound artillery shell high into the air. In fact, the blast was so powerful, we can't find them all. One of our shells is missing.
Nightly thought has just occurred to me.
What's that?
Perhaps it hasn't come down yet. We should run.
I think it actually came out.
Finally, we find it.
Good Lord. That's a hell of a shot.
You basically removed all 5 shells.
Yep.
So you've separated all 5 shells. It makes it much easier for the explosive ordnance disposal guy to come through and actually deal with each shell safely. This is an 80-pound shell. We had 3 of these 80-pound shells in there, got tossed basically by water.
In the fight against improvised explosive devices, who would have thought that this little genius could offer protection against the biggest killer in the war on terror? Coming up, I get my hands on the grenade launcher that's so devastating, they call it the six-pack attack. This is one of the most effective fighting units ever, a Marine combat squad.
Watch out, let me get a shot.
But there are times when you want extra firepower on the target, delivered from a safe distance. I've heard of a new weapon that does just that, combining punch with protection. So I've come to Perry, Florida to see it in action myself. This is the M32 Multiple Grenade Launcher. The cartridge has a low-pressure chamber, making it almost silent and stealthy when it fires. But its effects are anything but subtle. It's semi-automatic and can fire 6 40-millimeter grenades in less than 3 seconds. That's why they call it the six-pack attack. But this is no ordinary launcher. It's versatile. This baby can be packed with gadgets, including video cameras and infrared flares to give the soldier extra protection.
It's a real niche weapon, but there's a lot more niches that they're realizing it can be used for.
And Richard Solberg should know. He's part of the team behind this awesome weapon.
The coolest thing about the M32 is 6 rounds of 40 mic in 3 seconds, covering a 20 by 60 meter sheet downrange, causing chaos and disarray in seconds.
Grenade launchers solve an age-old problem, range. Throwing a hand grenade leaves you exposed, and there's a limit to how far you can toss them. One of the first launchers was called the M79, or Thumper, used in the Vietnam War. With a max range of around 330 yards, they were deadly. But the M79 had a major limitation. Once you fired it, you had to reload. Not an ideal situation in the heat of battle. Multiple grenade launchers take it to the next level, always ready to deliver a deadly blow to the enemy. They're one of the most effective weapons for a combat squad. But with the M32, they made the best even better.
It's a force multiplier. It gives the grunt, the warfighter on the ground, major advantage. 6 rounds, 3 seconds, 18 rounds a minute. Deadly at pinpoint targets at 150 meters.
This is a clever weapon. Its sighting scope allows you to follow the grenade to the target and immediately adjust before delivering a lethal payload of 40-millimeter grenades without ever taking your eyes off the target, day or night. The M32 has a longer chamber to accommodate a new family of grenades designed specifically for this weapon. They're hyper-lethal and sophisticated. The first trick from the six-pack, a grenade that delivers double trouble.
40-millimeter grenades come in all shapes and sizes. This is the 433. It's a high-explosive fragmentation grenade. It's the standard round that you use most of the time with a 40-millimeter grenade launcher. This is the Hellhound, and it does twice the damage. A 10-meter kill radius.
The acronym HOUND stands for High Order, Unbelievably Nasty Destructive Grenade. This hyper-lethal round owes its power to a unique mixture of explosives and shrapnel. It can be fired from an amazing 440 yards away. That's more than the length of 4 football fields, giving much more protection to the soldier.
You can knock down doors, blow down doors, stand off. You don't have to get in the middle of the fight. You can throw rounds in, take care of problems, and go on afterwards and clean it up.
For Chief Designer Bruce Van Stratum, this was the effect he was looking for.
When you hit that thing with a Hellhound, you're not just tapping, you're knocking, you're coming in.
This is what it does to a steel door. The core of this door contains padding to absorb the force of an impact, but the blast wave blows straight through. It's no match for the power of the Hellhound. In slow motion, you can see the blast wave ripping the door from its hinges. Then the shrapnel showers anyone who might be behind it. Against a group of enemy soldiers, the first one hit is destroyed, but it appears the others are untouched. Until you look again. our high-speed camera reveals how the shrapnel slices into the target. Just one piece is enough to kill a man. These targets are being hit again and again and again. When the Hellhound strikes, no one lives to tell the tale. Coming up, the M32 grenade launcher needs 5 tons of truck. There can only be one winner.
Wait till you see what it does to that target right over there.
And we see how this amazing weapon can combine with other gadgets straight out of the arsenal of 007. The M32 semi-automatic grenade launcher fires a barrage of lethal rounds over 400 yards away. Nobody within 10 yards survives. But what about vehicles? We're about to pit the M32 against a heavy truck parked 100 yards away. It could be a supply truck. It could be booby-trapped. The heavy artillery is too far away. The M32 is the only hope. What effect will the M32 have on this type of target?
Wow. I think we should go take a look at that bad boy. Any driver who was inside there? Well, let me put it this way, they're not driving anymore. And that vehicle has come to a halt. And the six-pack, it attacked and did its job.
Once the fire is put out, I can get a closer look at the damage.
Tell ya. Look at this. This is definitely what they mean by havoc. The whole seat is burned away because the fuel caught on fire. But because we went through the glass, the driver was gone long before the fire ever actually happened. Basically all the recipe for death. Shrapnel went through, here and here, all the way out the other side of this door. So you had an explosion that took place in here, sending all this frag all over here. When you look up here, right there, look at that. That is where the passage's head would be. Tell ya, when you have 6 rounds of high explosives that you can deliver from 1 up to 400 yards, it dramatically increases the amount of power that one soldier can bring to a battlefield. I think the results speak for themselves.
And it's not just about taking out targets. The next trick from the six-pack offers soldiers extra protection, letting you see the enemy before the enemy sees you.
Driving through hostile terrain is a very dangerous thing. Vehicles make easy targets. Now, when you look at this scene, it doesn't look like much. A couple little buildings, some vegetation. But I've got to take this road all the way around, and I have no idea what's there.
If the enemy is hiding behind these buildings, odds are I won't find out until it's too late, and I'm finished. A new round for the M32 offers me a solution.
It's called the Hunter round. It's a 40mm grenade that gives me a bird's eye view of the battlefield.
The new high-altitude unit-navigated tactical imaging round, or Hunter, has a built-in video camera which sends back images in real time.
We consider it to be the foot soldiers' unmanned aerial vehicle.
The Hunter round is fired to a height of 700 feet. It then launches its camera, which is attached to a parachute, allowing the camera to float slowly back to the ground, while sending out pictures to a handheld monitor. With the Hunter, the M32 has become more than a weapon. It's also a powerful surveillance tool. And there's more benefits with the M32. Night can be a soldier's best friend. It can also be his worst enemy.
A military that can wage war at night can pretty much go anywhere, anytime they want. But there are times when you want to transform the battlefield from night into day.
And that's the next trick the M32 has up its sleeve. The solar flare shoots up to 700 feet, deploys a parachute, and emits up to 150,000 candle power. It could floodlight a stadium.
And now I can see the entire battlefield. All my guys, as we're moving through on a skirmish line, we can actually start to see targets. Anything that's moving, we can shoot at. We have done this on our timetable so that we can take advantage of this light and accomplish what we want.
But if lighting up the sky exposes the enemy, it can also reveal your position. That's where the next smart grenade from the six-pack comes in.
But there are times when you want to stay sneaky. And they've thought of that. This is Oracle. It's an IR, Grenade Illuminator.
In front of me is a row of cars simulating a convoy of enemy vehicles. I can just about make out their shapes with night vision goggles. But the Oracle turns on an invisible light.
It keeps night, but allows me to see perfectly.
The Oracle works like the solar flare, only this time the light is infrared, bathing the area in a strong, non-visible light, burning for up to a minute.
The naked eye only sees just a tiny little spark in the sky, but I can see the whole night light up completely through my night vision goggles. If guys are moving, I can clearly see them. If guys are running around, I can clearly see it. If they're lifting weapons, I can clearly see that. Now, me and my fire team can actually move through the target and engage this target completely.
It's like a private little bright star burning just for me. When the infantry need a weapon that can strike from protective cover, there's not much better than the M32 multiple grenade launcher and its fearsome 6-pack attack.